Hi, everyone. Welcome to ARC Encounter. I'm your host, Maha, and I'm excited to walk on the ARC path with you. Today, we will encounter confidence and hope through the lens of lifestyle. I'm excited to see how we can utilize these resources to redirect our path and lead us to a better future. Our guide today, Bernard Bashura, will take us along this journey where we may encounter a special VIP along the way. Now, let's get you started on an ARC Encounter journey with this video.
AHRK is the lifestyle path to better choices. It empowers us to live life to the fullest and paves the way for people like you and me to discover our unique purpose and passion. Choosing to walk the AHRK path invites transformation and growth in 5 key areas of life: leadership, communication, mindset, community, and lifestyle. As we dive into these lenses, they redirect our focus and guide us into a deeper understanding of where we're at today and where we're going tomorrow. This is ARC Encounter. Welcome.
And welcome back to the ARC Encounter. My name is Bernard Bashura, and we're here to celebrate hope and really our confidence in hope. Today, this is an important topic for us because it's something that touches us every day, and it's not something that we have an awareness of it. And today's lens in looking at hope is lifestyle. How does our lifestyle is impacted really by the hope and the confidence that we put into it? And so to really take us on this journey, we've invited a special guest. Her name is Robin Brock. And she is a celebrated VIP person on the ARC path with us. And one of the things that we celebrate is just her knowing who she is, her being anchored in her identity. And as a celebrated mom, as a celebrated wife, as a celebrated businesswoman, as a celebrated pageant winner, she's been on the ARC path throughout her life, and she's finding victories every day, and she's here to celebrate these victories with us. So welcome, Robin.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, thank you for being on this call. And as always, you look amazing. And we wish you were out here in the studio with us in California. But through technology, we're able to both live our lifestyles and do this together. So isn't that amazing?
That's a great segue. Yes, it is amazing. And the lifestyles that we're able to maintain and be with each other virtually and still together is just incredible.
I totally agree. And, we thank you for really participating in this conversation. It's a topic that's dear to your heart, and really we know that this is something that you live in. You touch this topic every day, but we really want to showcase just what is this lifestyle that you live. And in a previous episode with Casey Cox, you kind of were talking about, actually he was talking about how extraordinary you are. But today I want to talk about how you make extraordinary ordinary, how you live it out every day, and it's normal, it's normative. And really helping our viewer recognize that having that confidence in yourself and in who you are really gets you to that point of it being normative. So can you share that with us? What makes it normative in your life?
Wow, that's a great subject. So turning the ordinary into extraordinary for me is really an inside job. It's my choice each day and each moment, how I perceive my experiences. So I can choose to see them as a problem. I can wake up with a scarcity mindset and say, oh, I didn't get enough rest. My hair isn't good enough. My clothes aren't really good enough. I really don't like my job. My kids are annoying. I have to go grocery shopping later. Or I have the opportunity to say, I got the amount of sleep that I needed. I can style my hair because I live in a country where I can find products that are available that can help me with that. And I can get on YouTube and learn new tricks, which is something that I do. And I can enjoy my children and understand that even though they're demanding, they need me right now, and that won't always be the case. And that I get to go to work and I get to pour into life. So it's just a matter of perspective for me.
I love that. I love how you capture that, and that's really what makes you a VIP. Is it lives in you and it lives out of you every day. And really being a VIP on the ARC path is recognizing your values and really being anchored in your identity, which allows you to live out your purpose, which you do every day. We've talked about how life is challenging. I mean, every day there's a new challenge. There's a new reality to overcome, and yet in your normative movement every day. Because a lot of people that are watching right now, they go, well, it's so easy for you. And that's something that I hear all the time. It's so easy for me. It's so easy for you. And it's how do we give them hope going, no. It's not the question that it's easy. It's being prepared. It's being anchored in your values and living that out. How would you help somebody in that conversation?
I'm just going to be really honest. So when I started this journey, I moved to Kansas from the West Coast. I did not have a home. I had a vehicle with 300,000 miles on it. I had a suitcase full of clothes, my 2 children, and my 2 dogs. That is it. That's all I had. And yet I was still hopeful and joyful and happy. So again, it's a decision. So I can focus. I'll go back. There's a Native American parable that says, there are 2 wolves. One is good and one represents evil. Which one grows? And the answer is the one you feed. And that always reminds me that, I can speak life or I can speak scarcity. And so in that moment when I had nothing, I went and I got a job, and I was a waitress in a cafe for 3 years, and I assumed more and more responsibility. But the truth is I made $250 a week, and I fed 2 growing boys on that. And I continued to grow, and I continued to serve, and I continued to expand my presence in the world and the impact that I get to leave people with. So it's not about what my bank account says. It's not about the year or make or model of my vehicle or the tag on my clothes. Society, I believe, wants us to believe that, live in this neighborhood, drive this car, do these things, you'll be happy. And I just don't feel like that's true. What is true is the more that I serve and the more that I'm present with people when I'm face to face talking with them and helping them solve issues that I've overcome, that's when I feel fulfilled. And so that's what I search for. And then the abundance, the success, depending on how you define that, that's another topic, that comes as a natural byproduct of having correct intentions, correct motives, and all of the blessings of life can be had no matter what the number in my bank account says.
Love that. I love how you recognized and really this kind of jumps us up on the ARC path, is that you acknowledge that it's your state of mind, it's your state of being, it's your life. It doesn't impact your lifestyle. So it didn't matter how much money you were making. You were focused on your identity. You knew who you were. And
Right.
you were a mom. You were going to provide for your family, and you were going to be content in that reality, and you're going to be hopeful. I think this is kind of what makes you a perfect candidate to talk about this topic is it really lives in you subconsciously. A lot of us kind of need to reach for our hope when we fall, but it's just that there's something you've learned in your life that hope is inside of me, and I'm just going to take it out. It's going to come out naturally, and you've done that. But again, it began with that acknowledgement. I think you've done that this latter part of your life to a great extent, but it's you acknowledge at one point that you needed hope, that hope was the only thing that was going to keep you moving to really help provide for you, your family, and what you're doing right now, which is providing for your community. So let's talk a little bit about this concept of community. I mean, you're a community-centric person. Have you always been a community-centric person?
That's a great question, too. I feel like I've always wanted to be a community centered person. But in my younger years, I was focused more on fitting in. And today, I'm not at all interested in that. Today, I encourage my children and the people in my life to strive to not fit in, but to understand that wherever we are, we belong there. So wherever we are, we were placed there by God, by our higher power, and we belong in the rooms that we end up in for whatever reason. And so I work really hard to be present in those rooms with those people that I have the opportunity to interact with. So today I'm not hustling for my worthiness. I'm not trying to fit in and study other people and find out what they're doing so I can feel more comfortable with myself. There's an understanding that if I'm there, I belong.
I love that. I love it. And that's why I ask about community, because you live your lifestyle, a lifestyle of service. And you've acknowledged that I need to be on a path of hope and have that confidence in that hope, which really took you to the lens of healing. I needed healing, but really without recognizing that you're going to live for yourself, for your family, for your community, that wouldn't have been helpful. And so, as you shared with me many times, is because you're such a community-centric person, you live your lifestyle serving your community. So how did this healing happen in terms of for you to recognize that I'm going to live not just for me, and you live to serve your family and your community. So what was that shift that happened in you?
So I think in my younger years, I felt like I had to graduate school, go to a great college, get a job, get a car, get a house, check all the boxes, and achieve, achieve, achieve. And what I found whenever I did reach those goals is that it was not fulfilling for me. And fast forward to today, I understand that in that striving, what I was actually trying to do was serve myself, thinking that if I reached some pinnacle or some point, then I would finally be okay with who I am. And every time I got to that next place, I was still empty and it never felt like enough. And where the shift came was when I started to practice mindfully being grateful for the things that I have in my life now, and understanding that my role and my purpose and what I believe each one of our purpose are is to be of service to other human beings. And so we're all given different gifts. You have a unique set of gifts and skills. So do I. And so does every person watching this right now. Whatever those are, they might be quiet whispers, or maybe you know what they are, but identify those things and don't be afraid to explore those and find out how people can benefit from your contribution, understanding that my gift is the gift of words and speech and connecting with people and truly caring. That's a huge contribution to the world. And I may never be famous doing that, but that's not my goal. My goal is to be impactful and make the most out of the limited number of breaths that I have while I am here on this earth, encouraging other people to have a great experience while they're here.
Love that. Love that awareness that you have of your community and how your community impacts you and how you impact your community and how you strive to impact your community. I think that there's that awareness that how important that lives inside of you. So I want to say that confidence of how that lives inside of you. But I just, it's kind of interesting as you're talking about that. What I saw was that you kind of worked for that acknowledgement phase. You went through that acknowledgement phase. You went through this healing your mindset, and which impacted your lifestyle. But this phase of restoration that we live into on the AHRK path, it seemed like less work for you. And it was kind of funny because it kind of transformed from what you shared with me, is that it really didn't become work anymore. It was just there's joy in living in that day-to-day confidence, that hope in serving your community, and you didn't fight it. I kind of want to pull that into the conversation where it became normative in your life, and just bringing that back together.
Wow, that's a great observation. So yeah, not fighting. And that's a part of my program that we're taught, which says we cease fighting everything and everyone. And so there's not that striving to get to the top or stepping on other people to get to the top anymore. It's truly just service. And then by doing that, we find success. And whether healing was difficult or not, I mean, to a point, yes, I resisted it for a long time because that's scary, right? If I give up control over that, what's the outcome going to be? And if I try to remain some sense of control, it might hurt, but it's a pain that I'm familiar with. And so that's what keeps us stuck for a really long time. And when I was willing to understand that my pain right now in that moment was greater than the pain of stepping out and doing something that wasn't familiar, then I was ready and I was teachable. And so it was a process and it did take work. And I did have to acknowledge some truths about my behavior patterns and truths about my life. But the first step is acknowledging those truths and understanding that okay, I may have been wrong and I'm not going to die from admitting that I'm wrong. And now I can acknowledge those and then correct the behavior or the pattern and move forward in a really happy, joyous, and free way. There's so much freedom in just unbuckling from that and just truly savoring that it's okay to be wrong and that's not going to hurt or harm me in any way. Today, I can be wrong and take correction. And I actually enjoy that process, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it shows. I think one of the things that always I connect with when I talk to you is how attentive you are. I think as we move from restoration into kingdom, I think one of the strongest attributes that you have is how attentive you are, and but it's genuine. It's not something that that you encounter very much, because again, most people get so consumed in their thoughts, their day-to-day lives, it's harder to connect with others. But being attentive like that has opened up many doors for you. And part of this kingdom living, this motion that we talk about on the ARC path that I've seen you do, is you take advantage of different opportunities because you listen, you check in with your heart, you engage your community to know which opportunity to move into and which one to step back from. But I want to bring in a particular opportunity. You were presented with a jewelry collection called OG. And it was something that it was something new, something that was just newly presented to you. And I'm curious to see, what was that journey for you to recognize that you wanted to participate in this? OG is a jewelry Christian line, and it's something that I celebrate. But I want to hear your journey in acknowledging that.
Well, that was a no-brainer for me. And one of the gifts of the way that I get to live my life today is that I'm always tuned into what God's direction for my life is. And so I'm always listening for those cues. And when I was presented with the OG line and understood what the mission was behind the line, there was really no questions to ask. It was very cohesive with the way that I live my life. There's no stretch. There's no, we can probably make this fitting a square peg in a round hole. It was just true and correct and the obvious next way to go. And a huge blessing for me to be able to transmit hope, tell my story through jewelry in a really beautiful way that the public can enjoy. It just makes perfect sense. And for me, I just heard God saying, this is the next place to go. So I don't question that.
I love that, and we celebrate your journey, and we celebrate how you walk in the kingdom. I think as we look at it, how you model it, how you model the peace, love, and joy, how you model this attentiveness that you kind of walk around in. It's something that's available for our viewer, and that's something that, as this confident hope. This conversation is so critical. It's something that everyone can pull into their lives and make it normative. because it became normative in my life at one point. It became normative in Robin's life, and it's something that you just have to pay attention how it's important it is. What do you put your hope in? And because what you put your hope in determines how you live out your lifestyle, and really the growth that you can go through that's available is life changing. It's transformative, as you can see by all of the different guests that we've had on the show. So join us on the AHRK path. We want to see your journey. We want to hear about your journey. Where are you at today? And if you want more, reach for the resources that we have on the AHRK path to help you along this journey. And we're here to live life together. So thank you, Robin, for joining us. And we look forward to next time. This was so much fun. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you, Bernard.
Well, I hope you continue to live out your purpose. Robin has made the choice to be intentional about her mindset and how it has impacted her lifestyle and community. I believe that we all have that same opportunity. If you enjoy what you heard, come visit our website at arcpath.com, our social media at AHRKpath, our app, Circles Now. We also have podcasts and courses created by Bernard Bashura and Casey Cox. Thank you for tuning in to AHRK Encounter. We'll see you tomorrow.